Hi, my name is Emma Seals, and today I am going to explain a little bit of my experience with my personal growth project this summer. The activity that I chose to do was to take a boxing class. I chose this activity very specifically because I was born with a injury in my left arm known as Erb's palsy. It is a brachial plexus injury. I was born paralyzed in my left arm. I had a crushed nerve up in my shoulder. The result of the injury left me paralyzed in my left arm for about 6 months. When I finally regained movement thanks to physical therapy, I had a lot of muscle atrophy, muscle weakness, and stretched tendons in that arm that left it very difficult to perform certain movements and put my arm even over my head. Um, so it's something that I still struggle with today. My mom tried gymnastics, she tried ballet, nothing really could strengthen my arm. So I tried boxing because it is a trendy workout. It's something that I've never done but always have wanted to try, and it was also going to be a very challenging upper body workout for me. So I chose Gladden Boxing to take these classes because it was right next to my apartment, and I had lived there for 2 years and had always seen them out there working out, but never had the courage or the time to go there and take a class. Lee Gladden is the owner of the business. He also goes by Coach Milk. And I had done some research on him previously when I was considering attending these boxing classes. And he is an ex Marine and a professional boxer. And I don't know why that was very intimidating for me, but I felt like it added to the challenge and added to my fear of going to this class. So I just got home after my first boxing class, and it kicked my butt. I'm definitely not as strong as I wish I was. It definitely was not that great at like the techniques of boxing. I'm gonna go home and practice a little bit to try and get all of like arm positions. I stayed after a little bit after my class to see the more advanced class, so I'm hoping to really impress him in the next class with what I've learned. So, boxing class number 2 is done, and it was really difficult. It was a arms day, so by the time we got to the boxing techniques at the end of the class, my arms were shaking. Besides that, I feel like I caught on a lot faster on what he was teaching. When it's kind of all about quickness and reactiveness, and I feel like that was definitely a lot better. I didn't think my strength was going to drastically improve in between the two classes, but I think the thinking portion of it definitely got better. So, the first thing I observed when I walked into the class was the group dynamics. You would think in a sport where it's everyone for themselves, it's just kind of you fighting against another person, that it would be very individual, but it very much was us working as a team. After our warm ups, we gathered around for our workout circuit, and we all stood in a circle with one leader in the middle, and we started our circuit. And if somebody messed up in exercise, we had to stop what we were doing, start from the beginning, and add another rep. So this kind of made it more of a team rather than just a group or a group of individuals, because we were all accountable for each other and we were all accountable for the final outcome, which was obviously to get the workouts done. Also, there was a leader standing in the middle, but they switched out each round. So even I, as my first class, got a chance to lead the group, which was really interesting. So that kind of group dynamic tied in a lot to my Clifton strengths results, which one of them was responsibility. So it really encouraged me to have this responsibility for my team to kind of perform and encourage myself to have this outcome. It was really encouraging. It really made me push to do better, keep my arms straight, keep my feet together, call out louder. Um,
And it was also a negative thing because it was my first time. So at one point, Coach Milk pulled me out of the exercises to rest so that I was able to continue on throughout the rest of the class. And that really bothered me because I felt like I still wanted to be there and still helping my team. And I still had this responsibility to be a member of that team. And that was hard sitting on the sidelines and watching them do that. I also saw my Myers Briggs personality results kind of play into this. I am an ISFJ, and the most interesting part I feel like was the J, or judging. Um, and I think that was really interesting because, especially during my first class, I didn't know how it was going to be organized. I didn't really know how it was going to go, and that was very stressful for me. And I kind of just had to let go and kind of just had to go with the flow. The second class was a lot better because I kind of had an idea of what to expect. Another thing that I should have expected this class to kind of play into was one of my top 5 values, which was endurance. And this class quite literally tested my endurance. Every exercise was like a mountain that I had to overcome. Um, and it was really satisfying to get to the end. And I kind of made myself a rule because I wasn't strong enough to do everything and to do all of the reps of every exercise, was that I would start, and if I for some reason needed to stop, I had to finish it. So I could stop to rest in the middle, but when the last 4 or 5 reps came up, I had to get back into position and start again. This was mainly for a certain few exercises, but it kind of was really satisfying to set that rule for myself in the beginning, and then eventually at the end I was able to complete more and more reps. And then, very obviously, taking these boxing classes this semester very directly played into my personal visions for myself from that assignment. Um, in particular, the health one. I'm sure, like most people, I kind of set the goal for myself to work out for at least 30 minutes a day, 4 times a week. And it was obvious the class was more than 30 minutes. I think it was about an hour and a half long. But it really kind of showed me how far I could push myself in that hour and a half, and that I can apply that to my 30-minute workouts, and I can push myself even further to kind of get more out of those workouts. So, from taking these boxing classes, I learned that I can push myself way harder physically than I ever expected I could, and that I won't be sick and I won't throw up because I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. I also feel like I've improved my self discipline and my work ethic in particular, and as a leader, because I can be accountable to myself and kind of self driven, and I can make it to those workout classes even when I'm exhausted from an 8-hour shift at work, and that it's possible, and that my body physically can do it, and that I can also physically have the strength and the energy to make it to those classes. And I feel like having that self discipline and that work ethic is really important as a leader, because you want to give your followers what they are giving to you. So if they're working really hard and they're putting in the effort, I want to have the energy to be able to give that back to them. And I feel like I've proven to myself that I can, and that um, I have no limits to my strength. Maybe a little bit of a limit, but like those limits are a lot larger than I ever expected. So moving forward, I will try to attend classes when I can, when my schedule allows, but I will take what I've learned and the self-discipline and the drive and the accountability to yourself and to a team, and I will take that forward with me in both my workouts and in my personal life, my work life, and hopefully through my leadership style and development in the future.